Interrupting watermelons as what? What? Eh?
Hello there. Of course, there goes Nat interrupting the beginning like he usually does.
What do you mean? That was an interrupting watermelon. I'm pretty sure the prompt was very clear this week.
Well, the watermelon interrupted, and there you have it, folks. That we are here at Apple Bites, where we take a bite out of everything and share it with you, let you know what it tastes like. And today we have our friend here from Geekcaster, Mr. Michael Seven Michael. Michael Seven.
How you doing? I love that intro.
Oh, that was actually Leslie. I think you met her once or twice, which is our third partner.
Okay.
She actually put it together because she started to work with her computer and put all this stuff together. And it is so us that we've kept it on, even though right now Leslie and Cadma are really busy, and usually you only see me on the show.
Gotcha. No, it's great. I love it. I'm hyped, amped, hyped and amped and everything.
We all got to be hyped. We got to be here. You know, this is what we do, folks. We take the convention where you talk across the table and try to bring it to you every week live on the shows.
Gotcha. Cool.
So, Seven, why don't we start this off right? You tell the people who you are, what you do, all the good stuff.
Give them all the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
I'm the most amazing, what's it called? Renaissance. I'm the definition of a Renaissance individual. I'm the best. I'm the greatest.
Yes, you are. I completely agree. I feel like I've known you for a long time now.
A very long time.
And before even Bitten Apple TV.
This is true.
That says a lot.
True. Mm-hmm. That does say a lot. Yeah, I mean, and I had you on our show on Geekcaster. In fact, if you go down a little bit, you should see your face.
Yeah, I realized I didn't know our episode was out yet, and I was here on the Geekcaster, and I was like, through, and I was like, oh,
there you go. Well, folks, let's
let you guys interview, man.
Into the secret. So basically, Geekcaster, as well as the Bitten Apple or Apple Bites. What's the because you had a long title and short title. What's the official?
Oh, the official name of our channel is Bitten Apple TV.
All right, let's just say Bitten Apple TV. So we go way back, folks. So you're going to have a lot of private laughing back and forth just because we've been covering all these like independent artists and creatives and fashion shows, going even beyond just the perception of geekdom, right? We go way further than that. But so that's how we know each other. So we pass each other filming and photography and all that media stuff. So, but today, I believe what you're getting at is, I mean, I started out my career as a professional dancer. A lot of people don't know that. So you get the exclusive on your show.
There you go.
But I've been singing, dancing, and acting for years. I've worked at MC Hammer. I've worked with David Bowie, The Who, lead singer of The Who. What's the lead singer of The Who? I'm Dodry. I'm having a brain fart because I'm so excited.
Don't worry. I'm having that brain fart right with you because I'm going to sit here and then after the show finishes, I'm going to go, dude.
Yeah. So I've been blessed to work with a lot of amazing people and
sounds like it.
Be on the performing side of a lot of creating content. So in the journey of meeting up with you guys and covering and a passion of like really letting independent people know. I mean, I think this has been 2000. Would I dare to say 2001? We started highlighting.
That's a long time.
People or 2000, either 2001 or 2010. I don't even know. It's been a minute. But with all that being said, it was just like, just supporting your heroes and like seeing what they're doing. And I spent the last maybe several years of being my own hero and creating my own stories as far as
Exactly.
directing, producing, and writing. And now we got a film called Use Me that's on Tubi, and just promoting that. So it's a lot. So you got to let me know what parts of my career
Well,
we want to talk about, and
let's, we kind of know the past. Well, yeah, no, we know the past, but we
yeah,
kind of know the past here.
yeah,
I gotta admit, like, I'm really interested in how you got yourself on Tubi with your show,
right,
because I know a lot of people who come on the
right.
show, they're trying to get themselves onto Amazon, onto
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
the places to get their
for
stuff out.
sure.
Tell us the journey of this
Yeah,
happening.
and I'll be as transparent, but try to cover my butt so no one says, "Hey, I followed what you said, and I'm going to sue you now." So I'll say, so I'll I'll okay. So let's go further back. So I've also been writing and producing music for years, and part of the journey of the Tubi thing was, I wrote all this, started creating this music, and I started working with someone that wanted to turn their comic book into a film. So I
Mm,
helped to co-write that, and also be one of the producers on that. And that really set me on this path of like wanting to create, and tell my own stories, right? So I decided to,
right.
hey, what do I want to work on first? Well, you know what? I want to make people laugh, because right now there's a lot going on to not smile about, not laugh about. So I
Not
created
kidding.
created a production that really pokes fun at society and everyone's desire to become rich and famous, especially the famous part. Everybody wants to become famous. So once I finished the production, I started to hit up a lot of distributors. So I think and actually, you know what? Let's take a little step back, because there is a chain there. In between that, I entered into a film festival, and I won a Best Director award. And then from that,
Nice.
that got me to, so creating, collaborating, people appreciating what I was doing, then really want to get my peers, like the fellow directors, fellow writers, producers, to kind of co-sign on what's going on, winning a Best Director award, and then say, all right, I need to get this out there. So especially the fact that, on the tail end of COVID, not going out as much, and I'm sure you guys went through
Right.
that too. It's just
Oh
you're
yeah.
not
That's how this
covering.
that's how this show happened.
Yeah, and it was like, all right, well, getting it out there, there's all these gatekeepers, and the gatekeepers, at least the accessible ones, are called distributors, right? And that's only because, and for people out there that are into film, and want to create their own stories and get it out there, just so you guys know, um, a lot of places will not even look at your material. So just sending it
Wow.
out, you're 9.99.99999 wasting your time, because they don't want to look at stuff that they don't have any connection of, where this is coming from. Also, ideas are ideas, and if someone has an idea for Boy Meets Girl, they fall in love, and they break up in a park, and then they get back together in the same park 10 years ago, I'm sure there's another 80,000 people with that same story. So
Yeah.
they're cutting their risk of being sued by taking in just random, material.
Idea. Yeah,
Right.
because somebody's gonna say, "Hey, that's my idea."
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. So with all that being said, you got to go through distributors. So what I did, I just sent it out to tons of distributors. I learned that a good portion are to pay to play. There are those that are free, and it's a simple. I don't want to promote anyone in particular that you have to pay to get down with it. I didn't go that route, but definitely thought about it and might
Mm,
use that route in the future, because there are some distributors that are, you pay up front and they will send it to Apple, Amazon, whatever like that. No
they'll do the
guarantee.
job for you. Yeah.
Well, no guarantee, and that's the trick. No guarantee that they'll pick you, but guarantee they'll get it in front of these people allegedly, right? So, and then there's other ones where it's, for the most part, they're going to take a percentage of whatever you make.
Right.
So it's either paying up front, and then I heard there's one. Well, actually, there's one I contacted. I was really excited to work with them. I will not mention them because of the lack of communication, but they do a double whammy. You pay to get on, and they take a percentage. So,
Damn. Woo!
but this is the world we live in. So I would say to everyone, just do research. And I'm very very honest about it. I just want people to know that there are avenues to get out there. You just got to figure out what works best for you, and also economically, and just do the research, make a choice, look at reviews.
Right.
I know other filmmakers that got through different distributors where they were so excited they got on, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, did we make any money? Oh, we'll get back to you in a couple months. Actually, don't even give it a time for it. Just we'll get
Yeah.
back to you.
We'll get back to you eventually.
Right. So, with this game of being an independent artist, a creative, a director, producer, a writer, you're still in the thick of it. Every time you get to a thing, you realize there's more hurdles, but you just keep
Yeah.
going. You just keep going.
It's funny because it's everything now. Everything's the same now. We're in the same boat.
Right.
You're in this place where you can create. You can actually create. Unlike years ago when things were that you had to figure out who to get with in order to create something.
Right.
Now you can actually just create on your own and then try to figure out how to get it into people's hands.
But you know what? I'm so glad that you brought that up. And I definitely will say this in the future and other opportunities because I think it's so important for people to really take this in. Let's use music because music tends to be a little bit more forgiving with these conversations, right?
Definitely.
Name three artists that you think are just like the most amazing musical artists. Just name three.
I'm a big rock fan, so I'm gonna have to say Disturbed, Metallica, and hey, let's just throw in Celine Dion there for some fun.
For giggles, let's just
Yeah,
do it. Let's just do it. Um, yeah, I would say, and being a fan of metal and different stuff, knowing those artists and looking at their careers from what I
hmm
remember, if they came out today, would they make it?
they would have a much harder time. I feel that the system that was in place helped them out a lot.
I would say 100%. I mean, if you
Yeah,
look at Metallica, right? They You got to grow with them. Like
yeah,
we would never hear one. That music video would have never happened if they
no,
came out today.
mm-mm.
Because if you think, and so for instance, let's say let's throw a different genres. Let's say Marvin Gaye, I don't know, Prince, Madonna. Let's say who else could we throw in there? Taylor Swift. Okay, so we hit a couple genres there, right? Would those artists really get a chance to develop and be who they are in today's market? Now, as much as the machine, we all know the traps of the machine, owning your
Yep,
masters, taking your publishing, but realistically, would those people be able to develop and create the great works that they have? Specifically, when you look at Marvin Gaye, um, what's going on would never happen. I mean, he had issues with his label just to do that, but he had hits and he had a name. Um, the Key of Life, in the Key of Life, like Stevie Wonder. You're looking at people that actually had time to sit in the studio, collab with other artists, really had the funding
yeah,
to imagine and create. The Beatles, that catalog would, I mean, they had hits. Think about it. They were a pop band. If you
yep,
really think about it, they were a pop act.
uh-huh.
But what we know of the Beatles as in the Beatles and legendary and the advancements in the studio that came out would not have reached those heights under today's market. So I say that to say that film is going the way of music.
Yeah,
And if you
completely.
haven't heard that before, I'm claiming it. I'm saying it. And yeah, it's I think fans need to really appreciate the concept of an album again. They need to embrace independent film and storytelling
Yeah,
because they're only going to put money in areas in which they feel that people are going to embrace. And if they can give you the same movies over and over again, and give you the same, same actors playing the same thing over and over again, and you don't challenge it, you don't put it in the comments,
Yeah.
you don't say on social media, what are you doing? Because they do pay attention to fans.
Oh, they do.
And if you don't get vexed, and if you don't say enough is enough, then you are opening the door to AI. Because what's the point? Hey, AI, just give me another fill in the blank this film again. Give me the
Exactly.
same thing. Give me the
I'm
same
really
thing over and over again.
happy you brought this up because I've been dying to talk about this because
It's all connected.
I feel like the studio, they don't give a shit. They don't care.
Yeah.
They just want to make their money.
Correct.
Which is where we're having the issue because creativity is being thrown out the window.
For sure.
They just want to, like you said, cookie cutter it. They want to cookie cutter it, and they want to make it for less money so they can make more money.
Right. Which is business. Let's be mature.
Mm-hmm.
They're not doing this for fun.
Mm-mm.
Guess what? They're not doing it for you.
Nope.
They're not really. I mean, they say it in the interviews, but they're not doing it for you. They're doing it for their kids to go to college, for the yacht, the big pool, and the 80,000 acres of land that they have, right? And to party and go crazy. So the thing is, it is a relationship. It's still a relationship, and it's supply and demand.
Yep.
So people need to demand substance. Again, easy to take this in, I think, when it comes to music, because we've seen it. We have people out there that are popular, that have likes and hits. They're not talented per se. I'm not saying that everybody that popular isn't talented, but for the most part.
Because you have two type of things though, because you some people have drive, and they can make things happen, and they may not be the best artist in the world, but they got that drive, they got that hunger. They're gonna make it happen. Those guys are amazing.
Well, let me ask you this:
if their talent isn't as good, they're just amazing because they know what they're pushing themselves forward.
How much you think is a reasonable amount to pay for a concert ticket?
Oh, I don't know, man. I could swear they were expensive when I was younger, as well. But it's ludicrous now. The amount of money that you have to pay.
What do you think is reasonable? Just reasonable,
dude. I'll go with the range about $60 to $70. Usually that's a good price. Okay. But these days, that if you pay that much, you're probably paying for the nosebleed seats.
Okay, so
even those.
So I'm gonna up you a little bit on that one, and here's Metallica. They're coming to New York. They're just doing the stadium. They're doing the Garden, and they're gonna do a month tour, just in that one spot as a venue, right? $150. Would you go?
Metallica?
Yeah.
Most likely, yeah.
Cool. Are you going now? The thing is like when at concerts, are you going for people's drive? Are you going for their talent? You're going for their music? Like, you're going for their music, going for their passion. Yes, maybe but you're not. Drive has nothing to do with it. You're spending the money.
On that same note, I know where you're going with this. On the same note, we know a lot of talented, really talented artists. Right. And they should be where Metallica is. They should be, but they don't have the drive.
I see. I see where you're going with it, but you see where I'm trying to inch to it. That where.
Oh, I get you. Yeah.
There's a story in my mind, but I don't want the. Okay, I'll put it this way. There. See, I want to start people hating your show. So. Well, you know what? Maybe I throw it out in a different way. Okay, so you know what? If you Google on talented kids dancing, right? And if you go on Instagram, look at talented kids dancing, you'll see some really kids from all over the world just
definitely
just ripping it up.
You don't even have to do it on TikTok. TikTok just shows it to you.
Right. So there are a lot of I would say nepotism, and where I'm going with it.
There definitely is. Yeah.
And you'll see a lot of people that are they have the connections and the push, but they just don't have it.
Yeah.
They just don't have it. And the thing is, it's like you want to see an opportunity because we grew up seeing people that were killing it.
Yeah.
Even if they were lip syncing, they were like killing it dancing.
Definitely.
Right? At least
Yeah.
they were throwing down.
They were murdering it. Yeah.
Yeah, so we got to get back to that. I mean, if you look at Metallica, like, I mean, it was just like, I remember the music video, and even like hip hop heads that didn't have an appreciation for rock was like, that's amazing.
Exactly. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And like,
Mhm.
we need to embrace that again. I feel that it might be a generational thing, only because we've seen so many ridiculously talented people, even in because growing up there was also a resurgence of like pushing like Motown and blues, because all these guys started dying.
Yeah.
So they started to push that, and we still got to like see the connection. We still saw Sammy Davis Jr. We still
Mhm.
saw all these people that were like Chuck Berry, and we still were witness to it. But I
Yeah.
think now, if you're 15, you have YouTube if they Google enough or someone says it.
You
But
see, that's the point, though.
you know
Before it was thrown at you. Whether you wanted to see it or not, it was there. Now you have to decide to go and look
Gotcha.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's no celebration
No.
for like, there's a lot of people. I mean, I would say even more so with the rock acts, there's a lot of unattractive rockers out there
Yeah.
that would never make it with social media, just based
No.
on what they look like. Just
Exactly.
that's it.
Yeah.
Rolling Stones, I mean, love you guys, but would not have happened.
I was actually watching somebody. They were talking
Yeah.
about this, and they go, "Do you think Genesis was it with Phil?"
Oh, Phil Collins. I
Phil
think
Collins would have made it in these days, because he looked like a 50-year-old plumber who was having a music, and
right,
Phil's amazing, man. His
right.
music is incredible.
He's
But I was
amazing.
sitting there going, "Damn, he's right. Phil would have never made it
No.
in this environment."
Prince would not have made it, not
No.
to the heights that he has
Hmm.
reached, which is crazy to think. And I haven't heard one person say no, he still would have. I mean, he would have created stuff. I mean, the thing that's interesting is that technology wise, I think he would have been a beast.
Yeah.
But would anybody have heard anything that he's done as far as the masses? So in short, I think there needs to be a better relationship with the machine,
I agree.
i.e., the industry.
Hmm.
I think the machine has its place. I think that there's nothing wrong with a large company making $1 billion, but instead of making it off an artist, they need to make $1 billion with an artist.
Exactly. I
And
completely agree.
I think the relationship. So I'm not anti the machine. I see its benefits. I mean, I would like to find a situation with the machine that works
I
because it's a
completely agree
lot.
with you. Yeah, I
It's
completely
a
agree
lot
with you.
to create something and go through all the trials and tribulations and just the financial, emotional,
Dude,
social heartache to create anything.
exactly.
They don't really see that.
We
Like
go through, we know this because we do the social media,
right.
and it's like a hit or miss type of thing. But
Hmm.
if you have a machine behind you, this is
Sure.
eyes that will never see you, because the
Mm,
machine is making sure that these eyes see you.
right. Right.
We, if we get lucky, will be seen. Or if the
Hmm.
algorithm decides to show us off, we'll get seen.
Hmm.
But I feel like that's so much hard work,
Hmm.
compared to
Right.
like the machine going, well, you're going to be seen.
Hmm. Well, it's
Sometimes
funny.
it doesn't work, but if the machine is showing you off, you
Right.
can
Right.
get
Right.
more eyes that can decide,
Right.
hey, I like this.
Yeah. It's interesting. I forgot about it because when I first started the magazine, when people are like, "What are you doing?" and I don't get it, da da da. You just because I think I just finished doing. I produced a couple film slash music art festivals,
Right.
and then I jumped into that. So people are like, "Whoa," which not too much of a stretch because I went to school for communication, so that's not too much of a stretch.
No, it's not too much of a stretch.
No, 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 no. So, and um, and I have an education background too, so communication and education. So I always wanted to educate people, but at the same time entertain. So I started calling myself a activist for artists. I'm an artist activist, and I still feel that after all these years, I'm still having that same passion and that same voice to say that hasn't changed. Now I think about it, like we need a better relationship with with the industry, the big companies, and the artists. There are more stories to tell.
Yeah.
There are more perspectives, and there'll always be room to make people laugh, to make people cry, to make people think. Just to entertain. There's room for that, and you don't have to treat people like slaves in the process. It's
Exactly.
unnecessary. And now with AI, dun dun dun.
The elephant
There's
in the
some.
room.
It's insane. Did you see Black Mirror?
Black Mirror.
The
Which I
the,
haven't seen
the
all the episodes, but I know what you're talking about. Okay.
with the Netflix kind of spoof.
Okay.
You saw that one, ladies and gentlemen. And it's not a big secret, so it's not like a spoiler, but it's basically showing a possible future where even you as an individual signing into these apps, how you could be giving away your rights. And one of those rights could be that they decide to do a reality show on your life. And I think it's amazing. The technology's there. Nothing in that is not possible. It's just that will people do it?
Right.
And that's the thing that makes it very interesting. So if you're into the Twilight Zone, it's interesting to watch the shows where they were imagining a future, but the technology wasn't there yet.
No.
But there's like this is what's coming.
This is
We're
the
at
idea. We got the idea.
pretty much most of the sci-fi stories that are out now. The technology is out, and I think that's what makes it interesting. It makes it a little frightening.
Right.
Um, but I also feel it's encouraging too, because again, in the heart of science fiction is always teaching you something of what can be, what won't be, and the human experience and how humanity can keep itself or lose itself. And that's the heart of sci-fi, real sci-fi, not fantasy sci-fi or just fantasy, but science fiction. So I feel that I definitely encourage people to watch more sci-fi. I'm a
Yeah.
sci-fi guy and a comedy guy and a fantasy guy. So like my stories are always going to have an element of either the three of all together. Um, so because that's the type of director storyteller that I am. So the machine, if you want someone to give you fantasy, science fiction, or comedy, I'm the one. I am the chosen one. I am Neo. I am the future. I am the beginning, middle, and the end. Just hit me up, and that's what's happening.
There you have it, folks. Come check him out. So what's this show about?
Okay,
I love Muppets, so
for
you already got
sure.
my attention with the picture.
Now Disney has a long arm, so you can't say the M word because next thing you know,
Is it really? That makes you go after Avenue Q.
Well, see, that's the thing. They don't use the M word.
Oh,
So
you're right. Yeah,
anyone
you're
can
right.
say puppet, but you can't say the other one.
Puppet.
So
I said puppet.
yeah, puppet. So this is an amazing, brilliant show created by Guy Whitcam, as you see there. He's a child star, an ex-child star. He's all grown up now, and I just directed it. He wrote it. He created the whole thing, and this is his life. And it's 6 random days in the life of Guy Whitcam. It's called "Use Me: The
Interesting.
Life of Guy Whitcam," and we see an individual that is passionate about becoming famous again while struggling with drug and sex addiction. Yeah.
Do you think it makes it easier to talk about these type of topics because it's a puppet?
Well, we don't use that word around Guy, But for the sake of this interview,
I'm being racist.
so, but for sure, I think that well, it's interesting. I think that just being a comedy itself
Right.
allows you to open up doors that people are just so comfortable in ignoring, which I find fascinating, right? Because, like in the rise, I have these cancel moments. In the rise of, we've seen the last several years, the Weinsteins, the this, that,
Yeah.
which has been liberating, right? Because there's a lot of conversations that we know as being in the industry. I know about the casting couch. Listen, I remember, I don't want to throw anybody underneath the bus, even though I want to so bad. But I remember going to the studio, just a fresh teen, just stepping into my teen years. Oh, just stepping in my
Oh, just
teen
stop
years.
them now.
Just
Oh,
a young,
my golly.
just a young laddie, and you know, uh, had an audition. They wanted to give me a record deal, and this popular R&B singer that is known for running after the ladies was never really into ladies. He was into the men, and the comment was, "Oh, he'd really like you." So,
Oh
that
man.
that deal did not go through. I did not feel comfortable, but I think it's also, it's a thing too where whatever's shining in front of you, you know, you got to make a decision. I do think there's a certain amount of personal responsibility
Yeah.
that people need to make and take, and also you parents out there that have kids, young adults, or teenagers that want to get in the industry. You got to know your kid. If they're
Yeah.
overly impressionable, this is not the place for you. Wait till they get a little
No.
stronger, some foundation, whether it's spiritual, religious, some sort of grounding, because people will eat you alive, at
You know,
any age, at any age. So if you're
at
young,
any age.
forget it. It's a wrap. So anyway, with all that being said, yeah, I think that this is great because it just opens up stuff, and um, it's interesting because this was written, and was filmed at a time where all these things came out after I finished filming. So I had to look at
Right.
the footage and be like, oh my goodness, like
We called it.
what can I say here? There's a scene where guy is auditioning and like not totally focused on the audition, and it's real, and especially I feel my heart goes out to the older generation, that were famous like in the 50s and 60s and
Yeah.
70s, 80s, even 90s. Like if you were an adult in the 90s, and just how do you function in a world that's full of corruption and sin and sex and things that were appropriate then
Yeah.
are not appropriate now. And it might have been chilling and crazy then too, depending on how extreme, but it's just how do you navigate? So I think that that's something I want to explore further with the character,
That's actually a good idea.
you know, um, but it's a lot. It's a lot, but it's super fun too. I mean, he's cool, he's adorable, he speaks to men, he speaks to women, he speaks to all of
But
us.
it's so funny. Like you're mentioning all this, and my favorite comedies are the late '70s, early '80s comedies because they actually spoke about something. There was
Mm,
something always happening in those
yeah,
comedies. That there were you can't show them today. In other words,
yeah.
because and some of them get like edited really badly now that
Mm.
today. I was watching Barney
Name
Miller.
some.
Huh?
What's some of them that you're
Oh, I was
referencing?
about to say I was watching Barney Miller the other day, and
Hmm.
if you watch Barney Miller, you'll hear the same problems we're having now
Hmm.
in that show. The same exact problems, and you'd be if you didn't know better, you'd be like, what the hell?
Right,
And I remember these things when they showed up the first time when I was watching it as a kid, and I was
right.
impressionable. And I feel like a lot of that stuff helped shape me who I am because I got a
Hmm.
chance to see that early on shows like Barney Miller, MASH, Archie Bunker.
Oh
these
yeah.
shows didn't pull punches.
No. I mean, even the Jeffersons,
Oh, definitely.
I just started shout out to Tubi again. Hey, use me on
Mhm.
Tubi. It rhymes. Um, I was watching the Jeffersons and I saw some episodes that I mean, I was just too young to see them or
Yeah.
appreciate them, whatever. And I was like, oh wow, they talked about that. Oh wow,
Yeah.
they went to places
Hmm.
that you're seeing people tiptoe today
Yeah.
in a
Completely.
fashion
Hmm.
that's almost disgusting now because you figure as time goes on, we should be open to more conversation. We should be more flexible to have disagreements and different points of view. And it seems that we're going in the opposite direction.
Definitely.
Hardcore. I
Yeah.
mean,
Hardcore.
am
Because
I?
either way, whichever side you're on, you can't talk about the topic.
No, no. Can I use the other P word? I don't know if you're allowed to
Go
do
for
that on the show
it.
because I politics. Like, shh, don't do
Mufasa.
it. You know what I
Mufasa.
mean? um, we are not able to have a debate,
No, at all.
and not with any logic and any sense.
No.
And when you have a debate, I think it's really important, no matter what you're debating, whether it's sports, politics, that you should even if you know you're 100% right, you should at least give yourself a 5% gradient scale of like maybe they might mention something that'll make you know what I mean. You should still be open, even if just be open. And people are not that open. It's kind of like
No.
when you watch the debates, it's like talking points.
Yeah.
And as long as I get these talking points out, I'm gonna ignore what you got to say.
Exactly.
Or when you say something, I have to reflect it with something else. And I feel that like the
It's not
industry
an
has done,
actually debate. Yeah.
yeah, I feel the industry has done that too,
Hmm.
where there was an executive interested. I won't say which large company. Is executive interested in Use Me, and they lost their position around the same time because of they didn't want um, they didn't want to be outed, with sex scandals and all these other things too.
Right.
So like anyone that's into journalism, look back in time a little bit. Look at all the people that got their little 401k or got their retirement package all around the same time. The people
Hmm.
that randomly moved to the Himalayas, shots fired. The random people. There's a lot of people that
Left the
disappeared,
country.
and it's not coincidence. Not coincidence. So anyway, let's bring it back to center. So yeah, so with 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 this production, I want people to laugh. I want them to feel shocked when it's appropriate. But I definitely want them to think too. But it's one of those productions where you're allowed to think, you're allowed to be deep, and you're allowed to take it for it's a comedy with a puppet. That's fine too. And I feel very proud of this film because you can get as much out of it as you want to, and that's a difficult task to actually have something
Right.
that actually has some substance where if someone seeks it they could find it, especially in this day and age. And I'm looking forward to not only expanding this world but also putting out more things like that, and those that want to be fans of that, follow me, support me, acting my stuff. Come on, we're looking for actors, stunt people, special effects, animators, whatever you could do. Let's go. Let's go. Let's tell stories together.
You got a bunch of those in this room right now.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Bit and apples full of them.
Let's
Dude,
talk.
I think that's one of the most fantastic things about this time period is
Mhm.
that you don't have to wait for somebody. You don't have to decide
No.
we need this and this to happen in order. No, you can just we're gonna make this movie right now. Well,
Yeah.
and if we don't
For
have the
sure.
money to do certain things, we're gonna get creative.
For sure. 100%.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. I mean, I put a lot of rabbits out. So like it's so weird too. This is the problem too. Oh my goodness, because it's this fast food mentality, and most of the stuff out there is junk. But
Yeah.
there is a crop of really talented writers emerging and people that are really pushing the boundaries, and I'm so proud of being a part of that. But also seeing that in others too, because there was a while where there was just like everything was so much of a formula. The formula is still annoying and it still exists, and we know which films
Yeah,
those are, but there's
Oh,
still
definitely.
these other writers that are breaking that mold. So that's exciting. Um, yeah, but the thing about getting together and doing stuff, yes, we have the technology, um, but because of the fast food, um, the way that the large this is the best way to say it, the way that the large companies are putting out content like fast
Yeah.
food, when you
hmm
do a production, oh, that's great, what's next? No, when we saw ET, we saw that 5 million times for
Yep.
3 years.
hmm
They like, so people expect things like, and there's no, it takes you forever to do a film, and that moment it's done, people are, oh, cool, what's next?
What's the next?
So that's
Or
yeah, that's a little much.
I feel like everybody's an armchair critic now.
uh
This sucks. I'm like, why does this? And my favorite thing is this, and it's always the same thing. This sucks. I'm like, why does it suck? I don't know. It sucks. I'm like, no, that doesn't work. Why does it suck?
Right. Well, you know what? The same energy. This is great. Well, why is it great? Oh no, it's just
Exactly. Yeah,
great.
it's just great. I just liked it.
You know, no. So see, I don't know. I don't know your fans. I don't know if they're sneaky. Like what's his name? Tina Knowles, uh, soon to be ex-husband. How like trolled him just to find. So I don't know if people are gonna troll me. Like, hey, I remember back in the
That's
day
another
when you
thing.
said,
You say something off cuff, and people come after you. I'm like, what the
yeah.
heck?
Yeah. I mean, I've done so many shows that I'm sure I'm sure there's actors, producers, directors like, hey, I remember when you said that. But you know what? My thing is like this, and I don't mind critique too. Like, you create art, and once you put it out there that people will critique. And I don't think a true artist cares about critique that much, as long as the critique is based on some reality and some sort of logic. I
Exactly.
think it's embraced.
Yeah.
It's just when it's just, I'm gonna say I hate it because I hate it, but I don't really hate it, but I just want to say I hate it. That kind of energy,
See, but
that's kind of
that's the other thing, though, and we know
and
this
saying
because
things are great as well as perfect. That's
did we lose him? Oh,
Maybe.
do we
okay. I
lose?
thought we
Okay,
lost me. Oh, there we go. You're back.
are we back?
Yeah.
Okay, so the same thing with the it's great, it's great, it's great. Feels good, but you still want to know, well, why was it great?
Why?
What
Why
do I
was it
need to
great?
do to make it even greater? You
Exactly.
know what I mean? Or what was so great so I know to keep doing that thing.
Because the other
You
thing
know.
that I keep finding is people will hate something because it's not what they wanted, and I'm like, that's not
Mm.
fair.
Well, that's true. Yeah, especially in storytelling. Yeah, I wanted the hero to fly. Well, that's not what my superhero does.
Yeah.
So
See, then what you should say is, well, it's not my cup of tea. But that's not what people like to do. They want to hate
yeah,
it. Oh, I remember now what I was going to say. Now, our brothers and sisters are in that area where they know that if they say something or they say I hate this or I hate that, they're going to
right.
get more views because they're saying they hate it.
Mm,
And I feel like that's the other
yeah,
side of this coin that we're on now
right,
is that
right,
people will say they hate it just because they know they'll bait people into
right,
coming in and viewing what they're doing, and I'm like that
right.
really works against what we do.
Yeah. I try to um I try to humble myself knowing that the thing is, again, backstory folks, we both have education as well as life experience within these sectors. So when we critique things, it's very analytical. It's a different set of there's actually a set of parameters in which
Yeah.
we are critiquing something
hmm
versus, you know, I want to get into the quote unquote nerd community. I'm going to put a bunch of bobbleheads behind me and I'm just going to talk and say, this is great, this is great, this is great. Oh, I just got into this premiere. This is great, this is great. Or I'm going to get on the bandwagon of maybe something having to do with sexuality or something have to do, just to, again, the hits and ever. And but that's the new generation. It's not really journalistic.
No.
It's just kind of emotionally vomiting and clickbaiting. You know, I think the best that we can do is keep doing what we do, and hopefully we inspire another crop that continues, support the local colleges, you know, get
Exactly.
interns, meet people, be like, listen, don't lose sight of like you're stepping into a job, which is called, you know, the directions like north, east, west, and south.
Mhm.
Hey, folks, that's what news stands for. But you know that when you go to college. You know, so
Somebody
yeah,
out there
so
is right now going, ow, ow, ow.
oh, so but yeah, your job is to not be personally attached. Your job is to just report what's going on, and you're reporting. You are reporting. You're not a
Yeah,
talking head. There's a difference between a talking head and a reporter.
there is.
You know, so I think it's interesting with Siskel and Ebert. Remember them?
Yeah, I love them. I used to love at the movies.
They were the perfect blend of talking head and also actually having a set parameters
Yeah.
of what makes a film a good film. It wasn't just
And they would tell you why they didn't like it or why they liked
oh for sure, and
it.
they'll be able to back it up. So
Yeah.
I
Yep.
think that's super interesting, and I'm looking forward to the future that we're going to see more of that. And I hope they see this interview and they get inspired, and that's why I'm the greatest. So.
Woo! All right, so of course, people want to go follow you. They want to check you out. They want to
Oh,
do
for
all the
sure.
good things. I know we can see you at the cons, but
Yeah.
we'll give them all the details on where they can find you,
Cool.
all the good stuff.
So Geekcaster, that's a start. Geekcaster.com, Geekcaster on Instagram, Geekcaster Network on Facebook. But again, if you just go to geekcaster.com, you'll find all the things. Or
Everything.
Geekcaster on Instagram.
That makes my life easier because I went
Yeah,
on there and
yeah.
I was like beep 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 beep.
And boom. As
Yeah.
far as if you act, do anything within TV, film production, you can hit me up on Michael7Michael. That's Michael, the number 7Michael on IG. I do respond. If you look like a robot, I probably won't, but I don't know what a robot looks like, so you're good for now. Yeah,
Are you
that
a
would be the best
robot?
thing. Are you a robot? So
I
yeah, that'd
think
be the
you're a
best thing.
robot.
I think you're a robot. You're not real. So,
I love
but
that
yeah,
comedy routine.
yeah.
That's all we do
It's
now. We're trying to find out who the robot is.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. It's just an opportunity to. I'm so excited about the future, what we can do with it. At the
I
same
agree.
time, I think there's a healthy amount of concern. I don't want to use the word fear, but there's a certain amount of concern. I feel that anyone that is creative, now is the time. Do not wait, because if things do go left, it's going to be hard to get into the machine because they really don't need you unless they kind of want to build you. It's kind of like the music industry right now. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, who are we going to build up? You know, if you notice, all of a sudden there was a string of female rappers that all of a sudden had 1 million followers, and it's like we call them I forgot what was it. I might remember later, but they came out of nowhere, like
Yeah.
left field,
Yeah.
and it's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there needs to be more women being pushed out there because there are a lot of talented women out there. It's just that they're just pushing. I'm trying to be respectful. They're they're pushing the Instagram. I'm gonna show my butt every 5 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Chicks.
That's what they want.
You know what I mean?
It's the same
And
thing with
yeah,
the the way things are. They want to show this lifestyle because that's the
mhm,
lifestyle that's making money.
right. You know, yeah, it's crazy. Oh, interesting story, right? So I saw this ad for like a video game, and I guess it was the female in the little commercial on Instagram was a rapper. So I was like, who is this? Because in my mind, like, what do you have to do in video games? And it was like a classic game too. So I'm like, if anything, show like an older female,
Right.
right? Because that would make sense because she was around when that game came out or something like that. Anyway, someone was like, "Oh, you're hated," and da 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 da. And I said, you know what? Let me have some giggles. First of all, first of all, it's a free country to ask a question. And just because someone asks a question doesn't automatically mean something negative. That means they want to answer to the question. So you look really dumb right now, just assuming that you know what I'm thinking and feeling as I ask, who is this? So then they responded, they're like, oh, my bad. It's just a lot of people hate on her. And it's like this whole, and this thread went on for a while. Other people joined in and everything.
Of
And
course.
it's so interesting. I got a lot of likes too, because yeah, they were like, yeah, I mean, who is she? They put LOL, like she came out of nowhere. So it turns out that she's a famous rapper's daughter. So I'm like, oh, okay, it makes sense why she's out there, why she got a commercial, nepotism, da 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 da. Because again, came out of nowhere. There's no legacy, there's no history of this person,
Right.
you know. Then we go on the Instagram, they're basically just selling how cute they are or how cute they think they are, and you're like, wow, you know, this is where we're at.
Yeah,
this is where we're at. So
that's
you know,
exactly where we're at.
I think that I mean, I don't know. The music industry is so bad right now, and I pray that the film and TV industry doesn't go the way of music in a sense that like you basically just have Attack of the Clones.
Yeah,
you know.
It's funny that you say that because of social media. I run into so many great artists and singers, and I'm like, why aren't you like bigger?
Right.
You know, and you hear their stuff, and you're like, oh my God, somebody needs to like do something with this.
Right.
And of course, you know, they may not be the prettiest, or they may not have the right personality. You're like, dude, I don't care. I want the music.
Right, because you're not. I mean, they're not sitting in your living room.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, there's so many songs that we grew up with that are classic or just meaningful that these people don't look good. They just don't look good, and it's okay. And they might look good to someone else, right?
Yeah.
Or somebody. But I mean, for me, but I don't care about that. It's their voice. It's their talent. You know what I mean? Like what you look like is not your talent.
Exactly.
Like I think that's a very poisoned perception. But that's where we're at. That's where we're at. I don't think it's sustainable. And now with AI, it's like, well, we could, you know,
we can get the AI to do that.
I mean, so it's just we shall see. Did you hear
I always say the same thing. I always say, you know, Milli Vanilli must be sitting there. Well, one of them is in his grave. They must be sitting there going, what the fuck?
People making millions.
They did the same thing. And, you know?
It's so bad. It's so bad. Like, yeah, it's so bad.
I always think about Milli Vanilli because I'm like, I feel bad for them because, you know, they got in trouble for this stuff. And now everybody and their mother does it.
Well, you know, that's like the inside joke to the industry too, because around that time, I will not name any artists, but there are tons of singers that were lip syncing at that time.
Mm-hmm. That was the big controversy, yeah.
Right. There's some very popular people today that we like that, yeah, they sing through a third of the concert, but they ain't singing through, especially them dance secret. But I'm not gonna pull any names, but you could hear it. Like if you pay attention, you'll hear the texture difference. But you know, it is what it is, man. Like I guess for the most part, as long as people are entertained, I guess. But at what cost? You know, the educator in me. If you're into history, you know where people are at as a society by their art and their religion. Those are two things they look for. Like anthropologists, they're always looking for, well, their artifact, their art, any kind of expression of art.
Where was the art and the religion at the time this happened? Yeah.
And then you know about the people.
Yeah.
So put that towards us.
We're not in a good place.
No, do go over there. No, do over there. No,
so let's. I know you're still doing the conventions. I know you're still doing Geekcaster. You know, of course, we did the show with you right here. You guys should go check this interview out. It was a blast. It was a lot of fun, and you get some great giggles if you watch it.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
So, you're still doing all the conventions, all this stuff. You're probably doing it less, right?
100%.
So, what are you hitting now? How do you decide what to hit? Because I know as time progresses for us, it's the same problem. What do we hit? When do we hit it? Do we hit it? You know.
Mhm.
So what are you doing?
I think primary. Well, it's interesting too, right? Because Geekcaster is a magazine, is a website,
Hmm.
it's social media, but it's also a production company. So priority list is creating. I hate to use the word content because
That's what everybody else is doing.
it's just we're not creating. I mean, yeah, we're
You're doing
making
projects.
we're yeah
Yeah,
projects. We're doing
you're doing
actual
love stuff, art
yeah
stuff, man.
yeah
You're
actual
actually creating
yeah
something that means something to you. Yeah.
right.
Hmm.
And then hopefully will mean things to others, right?
Yeah.
So that is priority. So that will determine, So we're still steadily doing tech conventions, because for us, Geekcaster is not the stereotypical. I love Batman. I love Spider-Man,
Right. No, you guys got
and
the
you just
broader sense of geek, which used to be the geek, which is
right,
the gadgets and the
right,
toys and the
right,
it was it encompassed more than just comics and
right.
entertainment. Yeah.
That's that nerd stuff, which is
Yeah.
okay. It's okay, but it's different.
Guilty.
It's different. It's different. It's very different. Um, so yeah. So we're staying true to ourselves, not changing for anybody. It was interesting during the pandemic. A lot of people switched their voices, became super anime because that's what was releasing because of
Yeah.
productions. So it's just interesting. People just kind of like sway with the times. We've been multicultural, minority-owned business, but like multicultural from day one. Um, I've seen sites that were pro-black one week and then they were everybody the next week. So I'm just proud that we stayed the course. So to answer that question, we're going to go to events that keep the course of what we're about,
Right.
which is the true original version of geek, which is knowing and having way too much interest in something than
Yeah.
than the normal person, and so this is where we dip into toys, we dip into food, we have Foodcaster, which is a
Oh
subsidiary
yeah.
of
You see a
Geekcaster.
little bit of everything here. Let me go
Yeah,
back up there. You got yourself some Foodcaster, some film, TV, and
yeah.
anime. Look, dude, this burger has been making me hungry the whole time.
I
And it's
know,
a bean burger, man.
and it's a bean burger.
Damn.
Yeah. So yeah, because I'm a geek for food, and I'm also a geek for soul in a sense of like Soulcaster. Like, I got crystals and onks and all these things, which is another conversation, which I'd be happy to go on your show and talk about that. And then Politrix, where it's just we got to get it right. Like, I think it's so amazing that we're at a time where superhero stories are reigning
Yeah.
because we can
That's not
take
how it
that,
was.
but we can take that, learn from it, and bounce off it and make the world a better place. We really
Yeah.
can. I mean, it sounds whimsical, but
No,
it's true.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
And I have a whole other discussion when it comes to that, but I'll leave it alone because we're nearing the hour mark.
Okay. No problem. No problem.
So,
Well,
I'll call it to be continued here because I got this
let's
whole
do it.
other rant that I want to go into, especially when it comes to what you're talking about right now. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, no, I just say we live in a world where Thanos really does exist. I won't
Hmm.
point out his name. Or there's actually more than one Thanos. So if you know Thanos, you know where I'm going with that. And it's just that, like, what's his name? Lex Luthor really does exist. There's like two or three Lex
Definitely.
Luthors that
Yeah.
really exist.
Hmm.
There's a couple of Jokers that really exist. These
Oh,
criminals,
definitely.
penguins. These
Oh,
people
I know
really
a lot of
exist.
penguins.
So it's like, what do we do now? What do we do with that? So Geekcaster is, it's great that we're able to produce our first film that kind of highlights social commentary, but in a comedic way. Called Use Me, The Life of Guy Whitcam on Tubi. It rhymes, isn't that? You can't get any better than that. Tubi, come on.
I gotta
We were
admit,
like,
man, you said it a bunch of times, and I'm like, here comes the rhyme.
you can use me on Tubi, because it's like we were number one as like a suggestion on comedy for like a week. So that was huge, like right ahead of David Wayne's. That was huge. So we got to push that going. But yeah, so yeah, I just feel that like, we're at a good place. And for everybody out there that has something to say, now's the time to say it. If they shut down social, like if Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, OnlyFans, what else people are using, like yeah, if they shut those things tomorrow, what y'all doing?
That's a good question. It means you're gonna have to go do that thing on live and
You'd have to buy your own website like we had to do.
Oh, I forgot about that.
We actually had to put time and energy. I think this is why we will always be more passionate. We will always be more clever. We will always be we would always be on another page because we had to earn it. And there's a sweat equity internal like investment that creates this sense of passion that if you can boop, 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 I'm in, like it's never gonna be the same.
I have to admit you're right, because like the more I do this, the more people go, you've been doing this for a while, Ralph. You start getting we've been doing this for a while, Ralph. I don't feel like you're getting anywhere. I'm like, I don't know. To me, I've seen growth. It may not be the growth you're looking for, but I've seen growth. I know where we were and I know where we are, and I don't care.
but also, you know what? For what it's worth, because I know at the end of the day, people are equating that with fame and money.
Yeah, exactly.
How much money did you get? How famous you are.
Exactly.
The thing is like, and we're all looking for that show, that topic, that moment, that something comes in and sweeps, and changes the game, i.e. the machine, right, or whatever.
Yeah.
But with all that, like, there's a legacy and there's a body of work that brings the validity of what you're doing and validity of what I'm doing, and it makes it very powerful. And there is a monetary value to that. There's an investment to that, because at the end of the day, do you go with a brand that has 10,000 followers or even 100,000 versus someone with 1 million that are all paid for? It's all fake. You just put a lot of sponsors and money, not sponsorship, but like personally, oh, this ad is sponsored on Instagram. I've seen people do that, and all of a sudden now they have tons of followers and stuff. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure people are consistent. They're not going off the rails, because you're investing in a brand.
Right.
Yeah, you're not going to hear a bunch of cursing on any of our shows. And that there's a certain, even if it's a little edgy, there's a consistency, and it's something that people can count on. If I say something's amazing, you need to check it out. If I say it's whack, but I'll still say, make up your own mind, but I'll tell you the reasons why I wasn't feeling it. They know if they should waste their time watching that film or not, and it's on them. I warn them, but I never say don't watch. But when I say watch something, they know they should watch it.
But you know as well as I do that there's these movies, they're just fun to watch.
For sure.
Yeah, they're just fun to watch. Ralph, just fun to watch. Go watch it. It's fun. Make your own decision. It's fun to watch.
But that's my disclaimer too, because there's some films where, or even TV shows, I'll say this is great if you're cooking, if you're vacuuming, and you're cleaning, versus no, you have to watch this.
Exactly.
There's a big difference, and I usually always give that disclaimer so people know what time it is, and my fans can trust me. And there's a lot of people out there you can't trust, which is good.
Because see, we break it down. We come to it like, well, if you're looking for this, then this is not the show for you. It's not the movie for you. If you're looking for some fun, some brainless, just something to enjoy, and you go in there. See, that's the problem. We're not going in with those mindsets anymore. We're going in with looking for whatever we're looking for, but it's not what we're looking at when we're watching.
The explosion.
Exactly. I came in looking for this. Well, why did you come in looking for that? You shouldn't have come in.
No, that's not. Yeah. So it's cool. I mean, like I said, it's such a magical time. I mean, things can go so many different ways. But my prediction is that big companies will will create a lot of content skirting around whatever they come up with as far as the unions. So I feel that that's hey,
Yeah,
someone
Angel came in. He's like, "Hey, yo, I came looking for a party. You
hey,
found the party."
you found the party.
And Geek was just telling us the last bit of his thing. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, I just want to say that I feel that there will be a lot of content created without humans, just to see how far they can get away with
Yeah.
it. I don't believe. I'll say it this way. I feel there are a lot of union people that will have really tight contracts, but I feel that there's going to be a lot of independent people just trying to break it into the industry, and they're going to
Mhm.
sign whatever, and it's just going to be. I say the wild wild west, but I think there will be tension. I think people will ultimately get most of what they want on both sides,
Yeah,
but I feel that the fact that we're having this conversation and we're not banning and outlawing this technology before it goes too far, it's going to be a lot more problems before anything gets solved.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah,
And Angel says it's going to get messy.
yeah,
At the to say the least.
for sure,
Yeah.
100%.
It's with any new technology. It is technically AI is something we can use as a tool. It's just that right now there's so many uses to cheat. In other words, that we have to sit there and have this discussion because we need to get there before it gets there before us.
Yeah, no, yeah, very little, very few. I think anybody's degree from college past, I don't know, since COVID on, I people are going to be. I don't know how much you can trust their papers. I don't know how much you could trust their
Yeah.
projects, their PowerPoints. This thing could do everything. I mean,
Definitely.
it could write the songs. I mean, I'm a part of ASCAP, and they just had a symposium, and they were just talking how like some countries are saying that computers can have a copyright. Some people are saying they can't. What makes this relevant to everyone is that those that write music, why are you going to hire someone to write music for a theme show? You know what I mean? For a talk show or like a game show or something. A theme music. I said a theme show. Theme music. Why would they pay that when they could just, hey, AI, create me something happy for a pizza pie
Yeah.
throwing game show, and that's it. I mean, so you know, I think it should be banned. I think it should be banned for use, and there should be some sort of code or some sort of imprint that lets people know AI was used. AI was used to make this album cover. AI was used to make this song. AI was used to, and I think that should be universal. So that way, if if you still are cool with whatever was created, boom, but you know that it was done by a robot.
Angel saying it needs to be heavily regulated. As a digital artist, I get enough crap as it is because the digital was the one that went through this the first time. Now I got to deal with AI doing crap and my work getting mistaken for it after I've spent years trying to refine my craft.
Well, it's not even mistaken. Let's say it right. The technology where
Stealing.
it's stealing your vibe, not mistaken. It is
Yeah.
stealing. Um, yeah. I mean, I think they can ban uses. They could say that it can't be used for this and can't be used for that. Will it be? No, because there's too many ways to rip people off. You know, I mean, the only people that I think are sitting pretty right now are painters, maybe, because you know what I mean. They're the only ones where all the other.
I gotta admit, I can see your point though, because you can have a computer do a painting, but it won't be paint.
That's the only music. I don't know who created this. Film. I mean, things are so digitized right now, and we're used to all the Marvel movies
Yeah.
where the fake environments. I mean, look at Avatar. The last Avatar, uh, choppy story at best, but visually amazing.
Which is what happened with the first movie, and I feel like
Oh, you mean Pocahontas?
yeah, I feel like people forgot That's why they liked it, was because it was so beautiful.
It was beautiful. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
And I think people started to remember it another way. I'm like, no. I remember. We went into the IMAX theater. This thing was amazing to look at.
Amazing.
And it wasn't the greatest movie in the world.
Wasn't. It I mean, it's just, chop. I mean, the second one is 3 stories in one. We've seen it before. The first one was Pocahontas. We get it, blah, blah, blah. I get it. Originality is not the best of this whole that franchise, but it is visually beautiful, and I have to give credit where credit is due. The actors did a great job. The voiceovers was great. Everything technical, was amazing. And I think that's what makes it an amazing film. Story.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, folks. It looks like we're out
of time. Thank you, Angel, for representing.
And Angel's last thing was like, well, you get it.
we get it. My heart goes out to anyone that makes album covers and all those little digital things that now could be just done in a button. That it sucks.
It does suck. All right, folks. Wednesday we will have AZ Volt and Tyler Ham. 2 extremes there on what we're showcasing. Between the Little Goblin story and AZ's amazing art, which Nat was able to get like a privileged little piece from one of the challenges that AZ was doing, because AZ is just breathtaking. Nat, you kind of messed up, didn't you, though? with your choice for him, because you forgot to give him the one with the hair.
No. I never finished it. It's on a completely separate piece of paper.
Oh my god! But dude, I gotta admit, what he came up with looks amazing. We would show it here, but I think we'd get in trouble. Yeah, that's what I thought. Because I have it ready over here on Instagram.
No.
And I was like, I don't think I can show this.
No.
So, folks, go check out AZ Volt on Instagram or Facebook, and you'll see exactly what we're talking about. It's beautiful. And then the new piece he did with all the bits and pieces of information that people gave. That one's even more breathtaking. I like what he's doing. It's that thing that I do here with the writing challenge, and I like to see where he's going to go next with it. And if you guys want to talk to AZ, check us out on Wednesday, where he's going to be on and showing off his stuff, if we can show it off. Mr. Nat, anything else? Anything else you want to leave us with, Geek, before we go?
Be good to one another as much as you can, but make sure you're good to yourself as much as you can. And when you feel you can't do enough,
keep working it, folks.
Cool.
Keep living the dream.
Keep living. Keep living.
Exactly. That's even more important. All right, folks, here we go. Hey. Of course, on the show, what we do is we press this thing and it goes. Yeah, Nat, I feel like we're going to talk about this sooner or later, but it doesn't need to look like it needs our help, but it's really beautiful. Go check out Lackadaisy. I think you might like it. Adios.